Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is the last movie in Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and with everything coming to a close, it's safe to say that Phase 4 has been a disaster for Marvel. But to be fair, Kevin Feige warned everybody exactly what this would be when he stated that it was going to be all about inclusion and diversity and identity politics. He even said this: exclusive, MCU will soon have more female heroes than male heroes. Exclusive, Kevin Feige reveals he envisions a time when more than half of the superheroes in the MCU are female. Not half, not equal, but no, more than half. And it certainly looks like what he said over 4 years ago has now come to fruition, as this tweet went viral the other day from Heroic Hollywood. And it wasn't just here, it was other places on Facebook, Instagram, was all over the place. All the main Avengers now have a new female version of themselves in the MCU. Hashtag Wakanda Forever. Now, of course, some of these aren't main Avengers, I wouldn't say, and of course some of these people are in alternate universes or dead in the case of Natalie Portman's Thor. But it certainly is a good reminder to those people who have maybe been ignorant or maybe willfully ignorant of what has been going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have all these characters who were rejected by the comic book fans time and time again. When you look at characters like Ironheart, when you look at characters not even featured here like Miss Marvel, who had the Disney Plus series that's the lowest rated for Marvel so far. When you look at these characters that failed time and time and time again in the comic books because the only reason they were created was for identity politics purposes. That's the entire reason they exist. Comic book fans did not read them, they rejected them. And now they've moved them into the MCU, and you're seeing exactly the same thing play out. We're even having articles that say MCU. I never thought I'd see articles that had this on it, but certainly it's right here. MCU full-on mode. Every Avenger seems to have a female version now. Marvel has said girl power quite literally. It's a new era in the MCU, as fans note that basically every OG Avenger now seem to have some sort of female version. It's not always about them being directly replaced, as some of those versions are variants. For instance, Peggy Carter has never become Captain Britain in the main universe, only on Earth 616. And the fact that they made that 616 is that's a completely different story. I think Gary bitched about it as well in his Multiverse of Madness review, but that's another story for another time. Still, it looks like Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, and the rest of Earth's mightiest heroes already have a female counterpart, and it points directly to this tweet. Now, there certainly isn't anything wrong with female superheroes. Look at Black Widow, and look at how Black Widow was received in Phase 1 and 2 and 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Look at the way people reacted when they decided they were going to make a Black Widow movie after she was already dead in the MCU. People were complaining, why didn't you do this before? We would have loved to have a Black Widow movie before you actually killed her off in Endgame. But no, they weren't going to do that. They waited for the success of Wonder Woman before they actually greenlit a Black Widow movie. But of course, when your entire focus is solely on identity politics, these are the things you aim for. This is the reason why Kevin Feige said this 4 years ago. It's not about actually telling good stories. It's not about creating compelling characters. It's about pushing diversity and identity politics as opposed to actually telling good stories. And some of these characters certainly have been more well received than others. We've seen effectively nothing from Clea at this point in time. She-Hulk was one of the biggest MCU disasters of all time. People despised that series. You look at Jane Foster in Thor: Love and Thunder, an embarrassing disappointment of a movie. And what have we seen in both streaming and in the box office? We've seen disappointments in Phase 4. It's almost like you took away all these characters that people care about, that people got attached to the MCU for, and you threw them in the garbage. And then you decide to create these female replacements that are intended to be better than the originals. And people, quite frankly, are just getting sick and tired of it. But everybody can now see, whether they're admitting it or not, whether they're admitting that this was the goal, that this is what Marvel wanted to do and that it's destroying the MCU, whether they're admitting that or not, they are recognizing that, yeah, this is what's happening. They wanted to go full female, all girl power, and as a result, a lot of people are walking away from Marvel. Not because simply that they're women, but because the stories you're deciding to tell aren't based on entertaining people, aren't based on telling a great story. You simply think that because you put a woman out there, or because you put someone of color out there, whatever it may be, that is enough, that your virtue signaling will be enough. And quite frankly, that's just not the case. We've seen it play out over and over again. Kevin Feige told us 4 years ago, he told us what he wanted to do. He's definitely accomplished that to the MCU's detriment. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my PO box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.